Happy New Year. New Year means new goals, and maybe one of your goals this year is to burn as much money.
So, unfortunately, I heard that Mr. Elwig had an L take on this, which is a little bit saddening. I'm going to be honest. I'm really hoping that's not the case, but from what I saw from other people, I guess we'll see.
Money as possible. And I have a great solution for you. It's called esports. If you don't know, pretty much every single esports organization is vastly overvalued because they're all subsidized by venture capitalist groups that are probably going to get fed up in 3 to 5 years when none of them are profitable, or crypto exchanges. And we know what's happening with crypto exchanges. Let's just take a look.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I want to hear that again. Oh, Steel Lungs. Thank you. Thank you for the 18 months. Thank you. Sorry, I have to fix the TTS. I meant to fix it yesterday, but I will fix it.
It was overvalued because they're all subsidized by venture capitalist groups that are probably going to get fed up in 3 to 5 years when none of them are profitable, or crypto exchanges. And we know what's happening with crypto exchanges. Let's just take a look at the Forbes top 10 most valuable esports companies. At the top, you can see TSM, 100 Thieves, Liquid, and FaZe Clan. Well, let's just take a look at TSM. How are they doing? Oh, they had a deal with FTX that got suspended. It was worth $210 million. Okay, that's
the major problem also with a lot of these orgs is, first of all, they don't have the same experience that other fields have. So, for example, TSM got really fucked over by FTX. The bigger problem with them is that, like, most companies, they have like a law team, right? That tells them, hey, you guys are fucking up. Or they have a marketing team, or they have like all of these people who actually understand business. Whereas it feels like a lot of esports teams don't have this. They just have people who think that they know what they're doing.
all right. Well, how about 100 Thieves? They laid off a bunch of people. Okay. Well, you got to reduce overheads sometimes. Okay. What about Liquid? Oh, a deal with Coinbase for 4 years. Surely that will last. And finally, FaZe Clan. Okay, publicly traded company, valued at 134 million. Wait, 400 million, 100. Okay, that dropped. Oh, that dropped really fast. Okay, well, that's look, not me just trying to make fun of esports orgs, because I like esports and I like anyone who takes an attempt at making it work. It just doesn't seem like
the bigger problem. Also, why is the audio so quiet? The bigger problem is that esports teams need to stop. They just need to stop. And they need to turn into content orgs. And content orgs need to just give content creators like a lot more authority, because content creators that collab with each other can get like insane viewership, and ad teams are willing to pay a lot of money for something like that. That's what they need to do. That's what needs to happen. And I'm sure that the industry will realize this, and they will realize that they have to change their business model. Exactly. So OTV and OTK, they have it down. They know what they're doing. Obviously, OTK has all of the fucking sexual scandals because they're being run by, majority male. Unironically, if OTK just like put a female founder on the team, OTK would be saved. They're not going to do that, obviously, because what type of woman would ever want to work with Asmongold? But like the type of person who would say MLK is just like Andrew Tate, for real. But if they did that, they would fix it. Emery was not a founder. She's not on the like board or anything. She's just one of their content creators. She doesn't have the power to force like people to start making better decisions. But OTV is a very good example of a content org that is profitable because they understand that you should focus on the content, and because all of those are content creators who are very successful, and they're successful in lots of different niche ways. They can make content that will blow up. Like, they saw the Among Us and they all got in on that, and they all made insane content that they totally could monetize, and they probably did monetize on their like official OTV channel and get huge ad deals on that. You know? Like, they understand how to make an organization profitable, because that's how you have to make it profitable. Esports, unfortunately, esport like events happen maybe once or twice a year, depending on the sport. And it's really expensive to pay these people to just not make any content. Because I don't know if you guys know, people who are very good at esports usually are not really good at anything else. Because being good at esports requires you to dedicate all of your time and energy into esports. I'm sure anyone here is like, actually, one's in chat. Has anyone here watched like Siegel? Because Siegel has talked about this. I'm not trying to like roast these people. I don't know if anyone here knows who Siegel is. Okay, so people know who Siegel is. He is an ex-Overwatch pro player. He was one of the first people in like the Overwatch scene. He's a great streamer. He's so much fun to watch. You hosted him once, I think. Yeah, I love his content. He's such a great content creator. And he was also one of the few people who like didn't jump in on like all the sexism during the Mercy meta stuff, which was amazing because there were so many male streamers that jumped in on it. And it was really cringe. But sorry, I'm reading chat really quickly. But he was the original Genji what the fuck montages. Yeah, he was the original like Shimada Brothers streamer, you know? And he said himself, I had to quit esports because it pulled me away from my content. They wanted me to train, which was basically sit at your computer and do scrims for 12 hours a day. And I was like at my wit's end trying to maintain a stream and trying to maintain my like skill to be good enough to play in esports. You mean better Ed Sheeran? Exactly, yeah. Because when you do esports, you have to dedicate all of your time to that. You don't have time to dedicate to making good content. So the only good content comes out of like these really high level games, which only happen a few times in a year. It's why none of the league pros play anymore. Yeah, exactly. There's a reason that Tyler 1 is never going to become an esports player. First of all, it's less profitable for someone like Tyler 1 because he's just massive, like not just physically. But the other problem is it requires you to spend so much time practicing and scrimming with your teammates that you just don't have the time to dedicate to content anymore. He's never, ever, ever, ever going to join an esports team to like play in esports games, maybe outside of like all-stars type stuff. Like, oh, we're getting a bunch of big creators to play. But yeah, even when esports orgs do sign creators for videos, I never feel like they use them well. Even with big names, 100 Thieves doesn't do consistent numbers. I think it's just like the type of content that these creators push out that isn't like good. Like I think 100 Thieves, like they have the right idea. But the problem with 100 Thieves is that like they don't know how to utilize their creators to work and collab together. That's the problem. Like, do you guys remember Achievement Hunter? I don't know. Maybe I might be too boomer, you know, but I don't know if you guys remember Achievement Hunter. Achievement Hunter was great because there was like a small cast of people and they all had synergy with each other. You know? RIP because after all the shit that they pulled out and then their content became trash and shit. Yeah, 100 Thieves is sitting on Powerhouse for almost a year now and we've barely seen any collaborative events. I mean, like you can see, and I don't know exactly who's running it and I don't know who has like full say over the content because I could be completely wrong. I just don't know enough about 100 Thieves. But what I do know is Valkyrae uploads a video and Valkyrae is massive. She's absolutely massive. And I'm sure if you actually go to Valkyrae's YouTube channel, which we will right now, pausers. Here we go. Videos. Okay. 100 Thieves, 1.5 million views, subscribers. That's more than enough to get like good viewership on videos. Valkyrae video with 2 weeks. Was posted 2 weeks ago, 100K views. On her YouTube channel, 2 days ago, double that. Every video is double that. You know? Like, she's big enough on her own that the content should do well, but it's not doing well because the collabs are just like, nobody is invested in 100 Thieves as like a brand or whatever. You know? Also, Will Neff. Yeah, Will Neff is a great example. For example, it's really sad that it's over, but like G4 TV, what was it? Will Neff's show that he did with Austin, Name Your Price and Hey Donna. Those were amazing shows because they were shows that like utilized those creators to the max. You know? Meanwhile, these all feel like kind of gimmicky in some way. It's like, nah. I don't care about any of these content creators, and you haven't given me a reason to care yet. I miss Hey Donna so much. Yeah, give Cutie and Will Neff full creative and personal control of a content house. Yeah. The reality is you just have to like you have to understand that there are some people that are better at creating content that is collaborative in nature, and there are other people who are better at just making content. And so yeah, I think this is the major setback for a lot of orgs. They just don't put the right people in charge of like creating like shows. And making it feel like there's a cohesive team that's working together. G4 deserve better, yeah. Will Neff and Piggy Smalls are the only 100 Thieves creators that I care about, yeah. So yeah, currently content orgs are like, I'm sure with a little bit of time, I'm sure with a little bit of time, we'll get better orgs making better content and stuff like that. But until then, we're just going to have to deal with this stuff, which is really sad. It's really, really, really sad. Will Neff had a very fun improv collab stream with OTV. He's so creative with it. He definitely should be at the helm of making 100 Thieves content. Probably. Let's see. Let me check OTV's YouTube channel. Oh my God. OTV knows how to make content. Look at this. This is so... Dude, 3 million subs and they're getting like 1.7 million, 2 million, 1.2 million. It's like the reality is that they just have like a good cohesive team. You know who is part of OTV. And they put it in their banner because it's important, right? It's like, you know the people. And then they set up like things that are probably very entertaining that help them collab very well. I thought that the Japan stuff was really cute. I thought it was really, really cute. Or like, for example, do you guys remember the Squid Games thing? Who did that? I think it might have been 100 Thieves actually for that one. That one was good. No, it was offline TV. See? They saw that people were super invested in Squid Games. They saw an opportunity and they said, we have the budget to do this. And you can see they didn't even like the place that they, what is it called? They got for it. I bet they didn't even rent that for that much. They didn't spend a fuck ton of money to do something like this, but the idea was good. The idea, the timing, and everything about it was really, really good. Like they just know how to make good content, you know? They should... Anyways, you guys get what I'm trying to say. You just have to have a very good team and you have to have like founders who are open to new ideas, you know? Riding waves, hype waves is a big part of it. Oh, 100%. Yeah. When OTV brought in Broden for their content got better, IMO. OTV is using Will Neff better than 100 Thieves. Yeah. Also, OTV just moved in with each other again. I know. I'm so happy, excited. Also, someone asked how I was. Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. I think it comes down to who you want to hang out with more. And I think OTV are just cooler and funnier than 100 Thieves and OTK. I think that's a personal opinion. I think that the reality is if you can highlight your creators in a good enough way, it'll work. You just have to have good synergy.
The economics of it match the ambitions of a lot of the people inside of the sphere. What does work, however? Content teams, influencers, signing content creators, which a lot of esports orgs do, and that seems to be the profitable part of their business.
Hi,
and it's also what some content teams do. I mean, take offline TV, for example. You put all these people in a room, they print out multiple million view videos.
Okay, I am being pre-watched right now. I'm actually being pre-watched. Are you fucking kidding me?
They can sell giant sponsors on. I mean, pretty much every one of their videos has a sponsor, and they're getting buku bucks for that. With pretty low
offline TV is very profitable because they know how to make good content. They know how to make content that will get views, and sponsors will pay good money for a video that will get 1.6 million views or 2 million views.
Overhead because they each have their own individual careers. Now imagine you could combine the content team of OTV with maybe the more rigid structure of an esports org, and you end up with something like OTK, One True King, a streamer-backed esports org that doesn't really do esports. I mean, they had a team in World of Warcraft, but they dropped the team. So they're pretty much just sticking with the good old-fashioned content creator route, which is smart because they're not only able to sell sponsors
Boys Club,
on the watch hours of all the people inside the org, they're also able...
Yeah, esports teams, they need to like disband. Esports teams are they're just not profitable. The type of content is just not profitable. Dude, they should do you guys know the in Hell's Kitchen where they like when someone leaves and they burn their picture and then they disappear them? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And they like disappear them from the or like no the Tyra Banks America's Next Top Model, and they disappear them from that. They need to do that for this.
Sell things directly to consumers with businesses they start, like Starforge Systems. I mean, imagine if I had swipe bidets and then I had a team of 10 creators that I worked with all the time and they all sold swipe bidets individually. We'd get a lot of buttholes clean in the new year. So it makes sense. And don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the most popular Twitch teams by hours watched. Obviously, G Fuel at the top, they have 671 creators. XQC's org, he's up top there. Loaded, they have a bunch of big creators. And OTK is fourth. They're fourth with only 14 people, and a couple of their creators barely streamed over the past year for reasons we're going to get into. Now, I haven't made any videos about OTK because, well, none of the individual pieces felt substantial enough to talk about for longer than a couple of minutes. But enough has happened over the past year, and especially with the update last night that ended the investigation on Mizkif, that I feel like we can talk about it all today. Now, we're going to get to the investigation with Mizkif at the end, but first, let's do things in order with what started off their terrible month of December, and it involves another one of their founders, Rich Campbell. Now, Rich Campbell, if you don't know, is a esports host turned streamer who did a lot of maybe the more business side of things behind OTK. And one of the people that he used to be in a relationship with, Lexi, on Twitter, dropped a tweet longer about a terrible experience she had with Rich. And I really recommend you read this on your own because I think it states how she feels about it more clearly and everything that happened more clearly. But I'm going to read you two excerpts. I'm not here to sleep with you, and I do not want that. That is Lexi to Rich Campbell when they were hanging out at Rich's place. And then Rich replied, by jerking off in front of her while continuing to talk about her getting pregnant and then begging her to have sex with him. After she said no, he continually attempted to take her clothes off. She kept saying no, and at the very end, he rolled her over and put himself inside of her and finished unprotected. That was hard to read, but it is a clear picture of sexual assault, rape, just outright. Now, Rich hasn't replied to this yet, but there were a lot of text messages that backed up them being together at that exact moment, him asking her to come over, etc., and it ended off with a text from him to her right after it ended with the same timeline saying, "You okay?" So I believe the account. You can wait for Rich Campbell's statement, which hasn't come out yet, but it's pretty clear that OTK also believes the statement, or at least is concerned enough about it that they instantly, and I mean instantly, dropped him. Within like hours of the statement coming out, he was booted from OTK, which is big. I mean, he's one of the founders of it, and they kicked him out. So that was a terrible thing to happen. But the next week, the troubles didn't end for OTK as a whole because they lost a huge part of their organization, Jay Schlatt. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you the value that Jay Schlatt has on the YouTube algorithm.
Jay Schlatt, unironically, was like the only content creator on their team that like I actually really, 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 really loved. And I thought was like, he just seems like he knows how to make good content. He's funny. He's really funny. And he's not funny in a way that like makes other people uncomfortable, because I think a lot of people, a lot of content creators in like the platform, especially men, tend to get away with like very like shitty comedy. Comedy that isn't really comedy and it's more just punching down. Whereas it felt like his comedy was actually comedy. At women especially, yeah.
He's one of my most viewed videos on pretty much every single one of my channels. And he's part of the reason why Mogul Mail even exists today, because the weekly
Yeah, like Miskiff is a great example. Like Miskiff's content is just like him insulting people on his stream, essentially. That's it. That's his whole content is him just making fun of people and being like, isn't this funny? And that's it.
Is what inspired me originally. And he mutually agreed to leave OTK. Now, it might not seem like a big hit because, you know, he's not much of a streamer. He doesn't stream too often. So many people didn't even know he was in OTK. But if you look at OTK's YouTube channel that has almost 6...
Yup. This is also, I realize I didn't talk about this. Any video that Schlatt is in gets like a fuck ton of views. And when Schlatt isn't in the video, it does not get as many views. Which is why they try and put him in every single fucking video.
600,000 subscribers. That was built by Jay Schlatt. Let's just take a look at the top 10 most viewed videos. 9 of them are involving Jay Schlatt.
This is sad. Like, this is sad, dude.
He's like 13 of the top 15. He is OTK YouTube. And I think that's a big thing to lose. And then
they're so fucked without him.
After that, which was actually just last night.
Because, like, I think that OTK has popular content creators. It's suffering the same problem that 100 Thieves is suffering, where they have successful content creators, but not content creators that know how to make collaborative content. Like, NMP, great streamer, great stream, very, very successful. I don't know that NMP is the person that I would go to first for collaborative type streaming. Or like SFand is another good example. Very, very popular streamer. I don't know that SFand is the first streamer that I would go to for collaborative type of content. Like, they seem like they have their niche, they're very good at their niche, and they don't really step outside of their niche. Also, Milena actually carries. Let's be real. Milena actually carries. But why is Jay Schlatt leaving? He didn't say why he left. Everything would be just conjecture. Presumably, he just doesn't want to be associated with OTK anymore. But he didn't say why. He just said we're mutually agreeing to leave.
We finally got the end to the investigation on Miskiff over the alleged...
Miz was the glue. So there's like one very important thing that I think isn't mentioned. The reason why Miz was the glue was because Miz's stream got like 40, 50K viewers. So everyone wanted to go on. Now that he has the image that he does, people don't really care about the viewership anymore. Oh my God, this was really, really stupid. Like, I saw, obviously he'll still get like FaZe Clan people and shit like that. But like, I saw Casey Tron, she tweeted something about Miskiff, very based as usual. And someone responded, they're like, weren't you like on his stream? Weren't you on Miskiff's stream? Didn't you want to be on Miskiff's stream? And it's like, yeah, that was before I found out he was trying to cover up sexual assault. I have zero interest in going on now because I'm not interested in collaborating with someone who covers up sexual assault. Like, the reason why people went on Miskiff's stream was not because they liked him. They went on his stream because they liked his viewership. And they put up with him. Like, going on a stream sucks as a woman anyways. Literally all the women that went on his show would agree. Oh, yeah. It was like, I'm pretty sure most people agreed that, like, he's like a big douchebag. And people only get on the show because of his viewers. They don't like him. Which is probably why he wanted to save his best friend, Crazy Slick, because he was the only person who actually liked him for him. It's either you're an OnlyFans hoe or you're an annoying bitch. Yeah. Yeah. He would even say himself they don't like him and are just there because of the views. Oh my god. Feels like Miz is going to end up making a hard pivot to appealing to the incel take crowd. Oh, 100%. I totally see within the near future like Aiden Ross Mizkif content. If he can yoink it, yeah, that would be the content that it would go in. I don't know that Aiden Ross would want to associate with someone like that, but if there was anyone that was going to, it would be him.
Cover up involving his best friend at the time, Crazy Slick. And now, if you don't know, this was basically a third-party law firm that OTK hired to investigate Mizkif, to which a lot of people, I think, understandably were upset about. They're like, okay, well, aren't you just investigating yourself? But who is supposed to do the investigation? If there were no charges filed by the police and they aren't doing an investigation, it's not like someone's going to magically get up and do it. You kind of have to hire someone to try to absolve yourself. But even if we just ignore the entirety of the investigation, I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of the allegations made in the original tweet by Trainwreck were outright false. I covered this in a video I made yesterday called I Lied, but if we just go over it one more time again, there was no blackmail. Not an iota of blackmail was seen. When Train said...
Wasn't it like confirmed that like Mizkif told Maya to tell Adriana that like it would be bad for your career if you posted this twit longer? Is that not blackmail? I feel like that's like, if it's not blackmail, I feel like it's at least a threat. Where? I actually have it. Here.
Because all I knew from Barry is that Slick's done. I was crying like crazy. I thought I was going to lose my best friend. I did nothing wrong by sending Maya and Mitch there because I wanted to know the situation and I wanted Slick to be okay.
Like, yes, Miz definitely knew the situation and how to play it to benefit his friend and wanted that to happen. That is what
Of course,
yes.
he's my best friend.
It doesn't matter. He committed a crime. I don't care if your best friend's getting canceled.
If you use him as your best friend, people are easily going to say that you're helping some person and it's like effectively a
cover up. You guys are gonna get eaten alive with this. I'm just gonna say, if you go like that.
It was basically Mila gaslighting Adriana the whole time, saying, "Are you sure this is what Slick did to you? You're pretty drunk. You wouldn't remember it. Are you sure? That doesn't sound something like Slick would do. We know Slick." And then she was like, "If you tweet longer, Crazy Slick, this won't be good for your streaming career."
I think you need to
like, what is that?
get him the fuck out of your house.
Do you guys not think that that's like a threat? It's like, yeah, of course Trainwreck's used the wrong fucking word and he said blackmail instead of blackballing. Because he's a dumb fuck. Because Trainwreck's is dumb as fuck. He's got like one brain cell. He lost all his brain cells to fucking gambling. That doesn't mean you're like, I've completely debunked Trainwreck's tweet. And Miz, it's not a threat, it's a promise.
Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to cover up sexual assault? Maya said on a stream that she would have gone on her own volition. And then as
some of that was debunked later. Adriana's friend was also caught lying in something, I think. The reality is that there is a full VOD you can go and watch about Adriana talking about her experience. Okay? And you will see what she says aligns with everything here. Her recounting the story aligns with what happened here. Where did it say Miz told her to say it? He literally agrees when Mitch says, you told Maya to go there and basically to cover it up. And then Mizkif literally says, yeah, because he's my best friend. He literally admits it. Like, what? He agrees it. Did we hear the same recording?
As far as the one thing that age really poorly and that was pretty bad of Mizkif, aka this clip Well, let's just play my reaction here.
Single person that we used to hang out with that doesn't hang out with Slick anymore because of what happened. I actually think there's literally none. Because the reality is, worst comes to worst of it, it's fucking like sexual harassment, right? I mean, like no one of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever.
Now, this was a clip from Miz that was on his alt stream that didn't sound so nice in the moment, and this is what I said about it.
At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit.
This is Miz speaking way too candidly.
Oh
and
my God. Lud reacting to Lud reacting to Lud.
too stupidly about sexual assault, saying it's low scale, like there's a tier list that we have to drop.
And here's the thing, chat. I will even be good faith right now. I will be good faith to Mizkif here. I think Mizkif is just like a dumb frat boy. I don't even think any of this was intentional, that he like took pleasure in covering up sexual assault. I think he's a dumb frat boy who unironically has zero understanding of what being sexually assaulted can do to you. And like the PTSD that you can experience from something like that. He's just a dumb fuck. And maybe dumb fucks like that shouldn't be in positions of power. I'm not even saying that he's being evil on purpose. Like, I am being full good faith here, and I'm saying he didn't do it because he wanted to like hurt Adriana. He did it just because he wanted to help his friend. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough. What power does he have, LOL? If you don't understand the concept that like big streamers have power over smaller streamers, I don't know what to tell you. Big streamers have like literally the power to destroy people's careers on a whim when they feel like it. Big streamers can cause small streamers to deal with harassment for years. Years. The idea that they don't, that like, he doesn't have any power. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. You are not allowed, you have to like straight up suck up to these people like crazy. And if you ever get on their bad side, they will just straight up send entire audiences to just shit on you for days and weeks and months and years on even the mildest criticisms. Like, I've been critical of OTK. Yeah, exactly, Casey. Like, I've been critical of OTK and Mizkif and Asmon, and I'm sure I'll be invited to less shit than what I could have been. Exactly. Like, if you criticize these people, even for things that are valid, like me criticizing Asmongold for comparing MLK to Andrew Tate, which is the most insane thing you can do, that is hurting my career. I am hurting my career by saying that I disavow a statement that dumb. Like, you have to be so nice to these people, because if you're not, they literally will just, they will just destroy you because they feel like it and they think it's fun.
Every year on what sexual assault we need to rank S tier, what sexual assault we need to rank F tier. And I lambasted him a bit for that comment because it was, pertaining to sexual assault, which is like a big deal. But I was wrong. He wasn't talking about sexual assault at the time. It was only known that Crazy Slick, his roommate at the time, sexually harassed Adriana. That's based off her words. Listen to this.
I've only recently figured out and found out, especially without sitting, that it's sexual assault.
So I feel like that covers it. I'm just playing that clip again because it is totally coincidental that I happened to upload that video yesterday or 2 days ago, and then they did this announcement yesterday. Obviously, I have no clue that this was coming. Otherwise, it would have been great to just wait a day, and that would have covered it. But yes, rehashing a lot of the original claims of Mizkif covering up sexual assault don't seem to be true. What is true, and what OTK did punish him for, were his actions on his comeback stream October 11th, which demonstrated a lack of empathy and ignorance towards the seriousness of the situation. Now, I never made a video about this. I never really talked about this, so a lot of you might not know. But after the initial apology that Mizkif made on Twitter, he kind of went radio silent for a while. He didn't stream for a long time, and then he suddenly was like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to stream. Fine. That's up to him. You know, the investigation wasn't over. It was going a while. He missed streaming. But his comeback stream was, to put it lightly, embarrassing. It started with an hour of him basically stalling because Hassan and XQC were both reacting to him to try to see what he was going to say about the investigation or what he was going to say about the entire situation. And Mizkif, in response to this, played Super Mario 64 and said, I'm going to keep playing until you guys stop watching me. And they didn't. So then he eventually ponied up, and then he said, I have no news.
Which, by the way, chat, this is why I say that Mizkif is just like, he's just a brain dead frat boy.